All right, friends, to get started on our rear brake job, let's go ahead and safely raise and support the vehicle, remove our center cover, then remove all 6 lug nuts so we can get the wheel off. Now from the back side of the caliper, you're going to go ahead and remove these little covers, and then we're going to remove these 7mm Allen head bolts that hold the sliders. Let's use a pry bar, remove the caliper. Let's go ahead and remove the rotor. Now we have a clear view of our e-brake shoes. We want to pay close attention to the direction that our adjuster is going in. You can see that you have the little spool and the threaded area. That's going to be facing towards the front of the truck. Now the next thing that we're going to need to do is get our e-brake hardware off of here. I'm going to start off by removing one of these tabs right here. If I was to press right along here, you can see that it moves the pin. I'm just going to twist that pin from the back side so it lines up with the slot, and then I'll remove the retaining clip. Get the pin out there. Now let's just take a long screwdriver, come up in between here. We're going to pry up against the shoe and up against inside there and remove the adjuster. At this point, it releases the tension on the spring, and we can remove that as well. Set these aside. Now let's remove our caliper bracket bolts. Let's go ahead and relieve this side the same way. Just going to turn that pin. Now this part's bound to be about the second hardest part of the whole job. We're going to have to get this upper spring off of one of the shoes. To do that, I'm just going to grab this shoe right here, get this in between, and then I'm going to try to turn it. Essentially, by turning it, I can see the back side of the spring where it comes through the shoe, and then I'm going to try to push this so it goes into the slot. There we are. I can grab this side. There we are, friends. Let's go ahead and clean down this whole area. Just go ahead and go ahead. Now that we have this cleaned down, we're going to continue on by spraying down this pivoting area. We want to make sure that we spray it with a penetrant and with a lubricant. This one happens to do both. That feels great. With a little bit of caliper grease, we're going to go along all the mating areas where our shoe is going to touch up against the backing plate. You'll see them because they're raised up. Let's not forget about this area right here. We know that the shoe rests up against here, and of course on the other side. The next thing that we're going to want to do is disassemble our adjuster, clean it up, all the threads, and then we're going to add a tiny bit of lubricant to make sure that it keeps moisture away from it. Tiny bit more grease on this lower aspect again, and then of course we'll get the backside on there. Work in that lubricant, we'll set this aside. Now it's going to be time to install our brand new e-brake shoes. You're going to notice that there's one aspect of the e-brake shoe that looks like this, and the other half is going to be smooth. The smooth area is going to be down along the bottom, and the rigid area is up along the top. Take your upper spring and put it onto that rearward shoe. Slide it in through the back like this. Bring up that spring. Now we're going to get this into the new shoe. Okay. There we are. As you can see, the shoes are situated exactly where they need to be. Let's continue on with the anchor point. Let's go ahead and take our pin, come from the back side of the backing plate and through the hole. Of course, through that e-brake shoe, and I'm going to put it so it's facing straight up and down. Take the clasp, slide it on here like that, push in on this tab, slide it down, and now we're just going to spin that pin. We've got this turned so it's sitting completely inside the groove right along there. At this point, let's move along to the bottom here, and then we'll go to the last anchor point. Let's take that spring, start it in. We're going to put it into both of the shoes. Make sure it's sitting into where it needs to be. Let's get our adjuster in there. This looks pretty good. Just make sure that it's sitting into the grooves where it needs to be. There it is, all the way in the groove. Make sure that your spring is completely situated inside the holes. Let's move along to that last anchor point. Just give it a couple loving bonks. Make sure everything's situated the way it needs to be. The springs are definitely completely in. Your anchor points are completely locked in. They're not kind of turned a little bit or anything like that. And then of course you have your adjuster spring completely locked in with the adjuster inside of its slots. Let's go ahead and clean down the e-brake shoe area. Let that dry. Now the next thing that we're going to want to do is clean up our mating surfaces on the hub and the backside of our rotor. Over on the bench, we need to make sure we clean up the bracket. When we clean it, we want to sand this area right along here and along the backside as well. That's going to make it so the pad can move, and of course you want to do that on both sides of the bracket. Now we're just going to lightly coat the areas that we sanded with something that's going to help keep the moisture away. Do the same to the other side. Now back over at the truck, let's go ahead and make sure that our caliper piston's pushed all the way back. Next, take a rag, roll it up a little bit, and get inside this area here. That's where the slider is going to be. You want it to be free and clear. Do both. All right, now that we have the caliper done, let's make sure that we clean up the slider pins. You want to make sure that they're free and clear of any debris or buildup. You also want to clean up the threading on your mounting bolts, and of course, use a little bit of red thread locker. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of lubricant to these sliders. Then we'll put them right in from the backside and in through these slider boots. Let's take a little bit of caliper grease and just go along the piston and of course along the backside of both ears. This is for the contact points. Time to get the pads onto the caliper. You want the rounded area of the inner pad so it's facing down and into the upper area of the caliper. Set it in just like this. Squeeze it so the tabs squeeze in. You should hear it latch in. Now it's going to be time for the outer pad. Just take it, slide it over the top like this. It goes right in. Now it's going to be time to install the bracket. Let's go ahead and put these in, snug them up, and then we'll torque them to 140 foot-pounds. Now let's go ahead and install our caliper. Now it's going to be time to install the caliper. We want to pay special attention to this area. There we are. Start in both of the sliders, snug them up, and torque them to 28 foot-pounds. Install your covers. Let's go ahead and get the wheel back up on here. We'll start all the lug nuts and then we'll torque them to 150 foot-pounds. Torqued. All right, friends, now all you have to do is go ahead and pump up that brake pedal so it's nice and firm, check your brake fluid, take it for a road test.